Good Saturday morning. I'm meteorologist Kara Thompson, and I know one of the big topics for this weekend is that chance for snow, so we're keeping our eyes on conditions for today. I'm not expecting a big snowstorm. I really want to stress that when it comes to this event, but even a little bit of snow, it's going to cause some issues out there. So let's go ahead, take a quick look at our radar for this morning. Currently, we're seeing a lot more of that snow activity as we go south of US 460. We're talking about Southside Virginia into the New River Valley, and that includes portions of the Blue Ridge as well towards the Grayson County as well as Carroll and Floyd County areas. Looks like we could even be seeing some of that heavier snowfall in parts of the region as well. So we're going to be keeping our eyes out for that throughout much of the morning hours. Definitely want to make sure that you're using caution as you hit those roads. It is definitely very cold outside right now, and with that, the snow is easily sticking to cold surfaces, whether it be your car, the sidewalks, and even some roadways. Definitely want to give yourself a little extra time to get to where you need to go safely if you are heading out and about for this morning. Now, the good news is with this particular event, it's not the same setup as what we had for your Sunday, this past Sunday. With that particular event, we had the cold air at the surface, but not necessarily aloft. Aloft, we had some of those colder conditions in place, and because of that, we actually had more of that sleet coming from the sky, more of that ice coming down. Now, with this particular event, we have cold air at the surface, but we also have cold air aloft, so that's why we're dealing with more of this fluffy snow in our area. It's easier to make snowballs with, for example. It's a little bit more on the crunchy side, and it's going to be easier to remove as well. So that is good news when it comes to this particular event. But regardless of we're seeing snow or ice in our area, we do have some winter weather alerts in place. These will continue into Sunday for the greater Lynchburg area. We're talking about Lynchburg into Appomattox, as well as Bedford, Amherst, and Campbell counties, and including portions of the Roanoke Valley. That's we have a winter weather advisory in place. Now, as we head into Southside Virginia, as well as much of the New River Valley, that's where we have a winter storm warning in place. The thing I really want to stress with these particular alerts is not necessarily the amounts associated with those alerts, but the impacts that we're going to be dealing with. Accumulating snowfall is expected. It may just be a little bit in some areas and maybe a few more inches in others. Another issue that we're going to deal with, though, is that winds will start to pick up as we head later into your Saturday. That will create blowing snow, which can actually reduce visibility. Another reason you want to use caution on those roadways. And speaking of the accumulating snowfall, slippery road conditions. I can speak from experience of coming in this morning. It's a little dicey out there. Going through my neighborhood, I had to come from the Salem area, making my way towards Roanoke. Neighborhood roads, they were completely covered in snow. It wasn't a lot of snow, but definitely kind of felt myself slipping and sliding a little bit. Going towards more of those secondary roads, which are maybe a little bit more traveled, they also had some snow on them. Going along I-81, for example, the main roadways were looking pretty good. The shoulders, though, you can see some of that snow accumulating. So I would definitely say watch out for the secondary roadways, back roads, your neighborhood roads. That's where it's going to get a little bit slippery for today. Good news is I have seen some of those snow plows actually go through the neighborhoods for today. So hopefully they can clear up some of this snow a little bit quicker. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look outside. This is our all-phase WFXR roof camera in Roanoke. Right now we are seeing a very fine snow in the Roanoke area to start off the day. Now I-581 looking pretty good out there. I saw the exit ramps. They're looking good as well. Peters Creek, it depends on what parts of Peters Creek you were traveling on. I did see some snow plows going by. They're clearing up some of that snow, but they may not have reached every area just yet, so that's why you want to make sure to use caution out there. As we start to take a different look at the Star City, this is our view from the Mill Mountain Zoo camera. We can see some of that light snow falling down, the cloudy skies overhead. But as we look towards the roadways, this is as we head towards Brandon as well as Broadway, we are seeing some of that light snow accumulation on the road. So please make sure to take your time out there. I know we're not necessarily talking about any freezing rain or sleet falling down, but that snow will still create those slick road conditions for today. Now, let's talk about the snowfall totals. Now, we have had to decrease the amount of snowfall over the past couple of days, and it's because this has been a very finicky weather setup. The main thing is we've been tracking a storm system that's mainly going to stay to our south and east. How close it gets to our region was going to determine how much snowfall we would see. Now, currently, I have maybe a trace, a coating of snow to 2 inches possible as we head into Roanoke as well as Lynchburg. The same can be said for Lexington and Covington. As we go south of US 460, New River Valley and Southside Virginia, I'm generally looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow possible. And then into isolated spots of Southside, looking at far southern Charlotte and Halifax counties, there is the chance because the storm is going to be lingering in that area a little bit longer, we could see some locally higher amounts. And then as we head west of I-77, just because the snow started a little bit earlier there yesterday, we could see amounts anywhere from 4 to 7 inches possible. So overall trend really is our highest snowfall amounts. They're going to be as we get closer to the North Carolina, Virginia line. As we start to move further toward the north, especially north of I-64, well, that's where we're not expecting that much in the way of snow. Now, the snow for today, light and fluffy, but another thing I want to add, this is still an ongoing system that we're dealing with for today. Our main enemy when it comes to snow lovers out there, it's actually going to be drier air aloft. We are already starting to get more of this air coming in from the northwest at higher elevations, aloft more so. And that drier air from the northwest, that's going to eat away at the moisture that's in place for our region. If that occurs, then our snowfall totals are definitely going to be lower. That's why I want to stress this isn't going to be a feet of snowfall across our region or anything like that. This is going to be a light snowfall event, but it is still going to cause those impacts outside. Now, let's go ahead and talk about those impacts. Most of the impacts that we're going to be dealing with when it comes to this storm system is more so going to be south of US 460, talking about Southside Virginia, as well as portions of the Mountain Empire, just because that's where we're expecting more of that snow to fall. No ice, still not looking at any freezing rain or sleet, but that's when we could expect more of the greatest impacts when it comes to this snow event. Now let's get into the featurecast and talk about the timing of this system. Throughout your Saturday, I would say periods of snow are in our forecast. It's not necessarily going to be snowing the entire time. Sometimes snowfall rates may pick up a little bit. Other times it's like it's just flurrying outside. But as we take a look at the futurecast, this is as we approach 2 p.m. Notice most of that snow activity is staying near, and then as we go south of the Roanoke-Lynchburg line, as we start heading towards the Allegheny Highlands, I'm not going to rule out the chance for snow for y'all. However, it's just not as likely, not as widespread, and that's because of that drier air in place. So we're continuing into your Saturday evening at this point. This is 9:15 p.m. on our Futurecast. Still dealing with some lingering showers, especially as we head into portions of Southside Virginia and Central Virginia. That's part of the reason I have that chance for isolated higher snowfall totals, especially as we head towards the Piedmont. Now we're continuing overnight into Sunday morning. This is 6 a.m. A lot of that snow is gone. So I know we've been hearing about some churches that are considering closing for Sunday because of the snow and a sense of precipitation falling from the sky. That should have stopped by the time we head into your Sunday morning. I think the main thing is watching out for those road conditions, especially back roads or secondary roads that may not have been plowed ahead of time. Now, continuing throughout the day on Sunday, not looking at much in the way of precipitation, but we will be dealing with a whole nother set of issues for the end of the weekend, so definitely get ready to bundle up. Now, the other set of issues, it's going to be the winds as we head later into your Saturday and continuing throughout the day on Sunday. I'm looking at wind gusts anywhere from 30 to even 40 miles per hour possible. We could even have gustier conditions as we start to go at higher elevations. With that, we may have some wind alerts that are issued as we head later into your Saturday. We're going to keep our eyes out for that. But the main thing that we're going to notice is those winds carrying in colder air, and it will make it feel much colder outside. Let's go toward your Sunday morning. This is 7 a.m. We are expecting temperatures across our region to range anywhere from the teens and into the single digits. Not only that, but because of the cold air in place, we're looking at wind chill values mainly below zero, and we could be dealing with some wind chill values as low as 25 below zero, especially as we head into the Allegheny Highlands. We'll see some improvements as we head into your Sunday afternoon. But with that potential for very cold wind chills, we do have extreme cold warnings in effect for many counties that are along and then west of the Blue Ridge. And then as we head further toward the east, we're looking at Charlotte, Halifax, as well as Pittsylvania, Henry, going into Campbell and Appomattox counties. That's where we have a cold weather advisory. So regardless of where you're going to be at, it is going to be very cold outside. Definitely want to make sure that you're bundling up, especially as you head out the door Sunday morning. And with that, you want to limit your time outside as well. I know some of the kiddos may want to play in the snow that has come down for today. Definitely going to be the good type of snow where you can make snowballs as well as snowmen. The thing is, though, if they are going to be outside, they need all the layers that they can get just to make sure that they stay warm, and maybe just limit that time because there is a greater chance for frostbite with these conditions. Now, let's go over kind of what we're dealing with for this weekend, because it is a busy weekend, not only in the sense of snow, but also when it comes to those winds. So snow is expected for today, especially south of US 460. So Southside Virginia, New River Valley, you have a greater chance of seeing more of those snowy conditions. Roanoke Valley, Central Virginia, I would say off and on light snow, not going to be as persistent as what we're expecting further toward the south. Now, once the snow ends, we're turning our attention toward the gusty winds, definitely becoming gusty Saturday night and continuing into Sunday. Main thing with those winds, it's going to create bitter cold wind chill values, especially late Saturday and into Sunday. So that's when you want to bundle up. Now, as far as the travel concerns are concerning with our region, what we're going to be dealing with is the chance for snow-covered roadways. We're seeing that this morning. Hopefully, we'll see more of those snow plows out and they'll help to clear those road conditions. But if you do plan on traveling, you need to make sure to give yourself extra time to get to where you need to go safely. Good news is with these road conditions, because this is more of a fluffy snow that we're dealing with, is that plows should be able to clear it a bit more easier than some of the icy conditions that we had earlier into the week. Now, something that's really good news for us as we head into next week, we're actually going to be warming up above the freezing mark. For your Saturday and Sunday, it is still going to be cold outside. High temperatures will only be in the teens and 20s. However, heading into your Monday and Tuesday, we are expecting a bit more of a warming trend with more of those highs in the 30s and even the 40s. That will continue throughout the week. So it is not a big warm up. I do want to stress that. And with that, these temperatures are still going to be cooler than average for this time of year, but at least we're warming up above freezing, and that should allow more of that snow and ice to melt. Now, let's go ahead and get into some of the conditions that we're looking at across much of our region. What we are expecting for the Roanoke Valley today, cloudy with some passing snow showers, high temperatures mainly in the lower 20s. We're not warming up all that much for today. Central Virginia also only going to be warming up mainly into the lower 20s, so you want to make sure that you're bundling up. A high of 21 in Lynchburg and Manita, and 20 degrees as we get closer to Appomattox. Southside Virginia also looking at the cloudy skies. Greater chance for those periods of rain to really move through, may become heavier at times. High temperatures mainly into those lower 20s. New River Valley, much of the same. Greater chance to see those areas of snow, cold and cloudy. High temperatures near 19 degrees in Wytheville, Pulaski, and Pearisburg. And even for the Allegheny Highlands, staying in those lower 20s and teens for today. Really not warming up all that much. Light snow showers are possible, but the main trend is as you move further north of I-64, your snow chances are going down for today. So snow, though, should end as we head into your Saturday night. Sunday looking drier, more of that sunshine expected. Looking at our next warm-up as we head into the upcoming week. So for today, just make sure that you're staying safe when it comes to those wintry weather conditions, and make sure to bundle up as well. Stay warm out there. We'll have more hourly updates as the day goes along.